If someone asks what aura farming means, show them us chasing it and beating Argentina as champions with our reserve team, even after their tricks and dirty moves while leading. Shortly after, 3-0 to win the 4th Copa America title in 5 tournaments. Then, when someone asks you what it means to lose the aura, just show them Brazil losing almost all the next titles. And more than that, we got eliminated by Croatia and Norway in the World Cup. Today, our main mission is to recover that aura. And our main bet, believe it or not, is the Italian.
The idea is to change.
I picked up some signs that he already has a recipe all figured out in his head. But what about it? Does he really know what it means to be Brazilian? Ancelotti has been in charge of the national team for a very short time and is already facing one of the worst eliminations in our history. How do you think he deals with this moment? Does he understand our pain? What is his pain like?
In the self-criticism I can make that I did after the game, I think I changed the team's structure after the halftime break, and then we lost control of the match. In the self-criticism I can make that I did after the game, I think I changed the team's structure after the halftime break, and then we lost control of the match.
First, talking about Ancelotti as an individual, that statement is already a great sign. Because for me, at least, it shows character. A leader with character will inspire followers with character. And this statement from Ancelotti definitely resonates much more with those who have been subscribed to the channel for a longer time. Right after the elimination, this video here says that the main person responsible for the team's elimination was Ancelotti himself, precisely for the reason that he has now admitted on national television in front of all of Brazil without any ego. If I were you, I'd check whether you're subscribed to the channel. It's worth it. And speaking of that specific mistake, in this game against Norway, he already started to give a little bit of what he thinks is the recipe for Brazil to recover that aura. Remember when people criticized Brazil for having just over 30% possession against Norway? Check out what he's starting to build. Look at how the guy's mind works.
The team has to have a style based on the characteristics of the players. The truth is that sometimes you might get criticized because the team had less possession than Norway, right? But it's the structure, the characteristics of the players aren't suited for a possession game.
Watch where he's going with this. In this first statement, you can already tell that he sees a very clear hierarchy when it comes to building a football team. And that hierarchy is right at the top. It's like this. Let's call up players to the Brazilian national team. Alright, let's pick the best Brazilian players. There's a team of several people in different countries, closely monitoring the athletes with tools, software, and a bunch of high-tech gear. Track players, understand stats and the player's physical and cognitive performance, stay in contact with club coaches, ask about the player, and get a sense of what it's like to work with him. It's a whole setup to pick the best players in the country, the best Brazilians, and call them up for the Brazilian national team. Alright, that's the top of the hierarchy. After that, it's about taking a look. So, what kind of playing style do these players have? Me, as a coach, what's my job? Create a setup on the field that brings out the natural qualities of the players I already have. It's not that I have my own idea of the most efficient way to play and I'm going to make the players figure it out and play the way I think is best. No, it's the opposite. In his mind, the style, the natural instinct of the players comes before the game plan. But that's just the tip of what he's talking about. Let's keep going.
When you have players like Vinicius, like Hendrick, like Esteval, like Rafinha up front, it's not that you have to play a possession game.
You have to play a more vertical game. And this message is much stronger than it seems or than people usually interpret. What's my take on this? Ancelotti is Italian. Okay, he's getting by in Portuguese. But if he spoke the so-called Brazilian language, what would he say? He would turn around and say, man, you guys are demanding that Brazil play a possession game, but I'm way further down the line. I'm much closer to the end point than to the player development in your country, man. I'd take the best athletes you develop, analyze each one's characteristics, and do the best I can with that. How can you demand possession play when what you're producing is a bunch of inverted wingers who just run like crazy into space, who charge forward at full speed and aren't the best link-up players in the country? They're not link-up players. And then fans start wanting to see Matheus Pereira on the national team, Alan Patrick wishing Garo was Brazilian, Arrascaeta. Man, there's a way for you to show that you could actually build a really competitive team in the fantasy game we just launched It's fresh out of the oven. It's the fantasy game of the Brazilian Championship and in a brand new format here. You've never seen anything like it. Click on the pinned link and inside you'll understand everything, every single detail. When this fantasy gets big, you'll be able to brag. Hey, I was there right at the very beginning, you know, and you'll follow our growth. Come join us, man. But his Portuguese isn't at that level yet. And also, man, the guy is on national TV. The way he talks, he has to keep up that image of his. He's trying, I don't know. Maybe he's being softer so he doesn't say it like I did. But really, that's the essence of the message, right? What are Brazilians demanding? What do they want to see? The Brazilian people want to see Brazilian soccer more in line with the essence of our sport, the way we play soccer. When we talk about essence, it's like this. You can make an analogy with the way you are, with the way I am, with the way all of us are as individuals. What is the essence of our adult selves, basically? Here's what happens. I am the adult that I am. I behave the way I do because of the experiences I've accumulated throughout my life, especially in my childhood and adolescence. Have you ever heard that story everyone tells that when you're a little kid, it's really easy to learn things? You learn things really quickly. Kids are amazing. That's because really a child's brain is much more plastic and learns much faster from the experiences it's exposed to, including things we didn't even know we were learning, even things that in adulthood we'll call traumas or amazing skills. Anyway, all the experiences we've lived through and all the cultural baggage we've accumulated in childhood and adolescence are what shape the adult we are today. If we take this, if we make an analogy with Brazilian soccer at the moment it arrived in Brazil when it was still a child, what does the history of soccer here look like? When soccer arrived, it was played only by the rich. The club fees for the people who played soccer were really expensive. It would be totally inaccessible for those who were poor. But the poor, by snooping around, realized it was easy to improvise a ball and some kind of goal to play. In the early days of soccer here in the country, the poor played with improvised balls, with different weights. And actually playing in alleys and on the street, we were forced to modify the rules of soccer. Being in a tight space with walls, someone says, let's keep playing, no more out of bounds. You can use the wall and the game continues. That's a modification of the rules so you can play, so you can have fun with that game in a place that's not made for playing that way. In other words, when soccer was still a child here in Brazil, this child's first experiences were inventive, solving problems in creative ways, modifying the rules, and giving more importance to having fun. To be able to play that sport with balls that were completely different from one another because everyone improvised the ball in a different way, on different ground, in a different space. With the first experiences of soccer here in Brazil, so throughout history, many years of evolution in society and in the sport. Even today, the most creative, most inventive players on the field, the ones who come up with the most out-of-the-box solutions, are for the most part Brazilians. And it's the same in futsal, beach soccer, and women's soccer. It's fair to say that the essence of our soccer is this skill, this good touch, a lot of technique, and a lot of ball control.
If new players emerge, if high quality midfielders come through, obviously you can play more possession-based soccer.
Now he explained it. Do you understand how in Brazilian terms that's like, oh, you want possession-based soccer? Alright, the national team coach isn't who you should be talking to. The thing is, 99% of Brazilians think they have to talk to me. But it's something about the players' development, and after these players are developed and have a huge rise in their careers and reach their peak, that's when the player ends up with me. And if we look at the biggest overseas transfers from Brazilian soccer, they're all inverted wingers who dribble and run into space, who attack space well. When the national market sees that these players are worth a lot of money to be exported to Europe, these guys think, man, take every player with a bit of skill, put them on the wing, because soon we're going to make a lot of money if some European team wants to buy. And then this repeats. Over time, people start asking for soccer with more possession.
Exactly like that. We have to look at the progression of the new midfielders. I think we're very well covered up front for the future and very well covered at the back. We have to find top-level midfielders.
So it's a lot of awareness, right, man? It's a really strong message, and not everyone interprets it that way. We have this habit of coming in and throwing stones and trashing the guy's work, not respecting his tenure, ignoring the many injuries, not understanding the work process, and criticizing him just for not winning the championship. While the guys who are working hard have to be unbelievably patient, talk to the press, and explain things. So guys, I know you want it, but I'm not the one who decides, okay? This has a lot more to do with player development at your clubs. So we realize that people really understand the essence of our soccer, while Ancelotti does respect the idea that the people have. He's just trying to find a way to mediate this situation and say, look, I'm not the one who decides. What he's talking about isn't even about the next World Cup yet. It's about the Copa America. But his view is that we have to keep a very, very close eye on the guys from the under-20 and under-21 national teams. He makes it clear that he wants to get these athletes a little earlier in their careers, when you can talk to them, train them here and there, and say, bro, if people want possession-based soccer, fine. We're going to have to change things in the way these guys are developed. It's right there for anyone who wants to see, man. I think the fans also have to do their part and understand more or less who they're holding accountable and what they're asking for. Here are the videos I mentioned that are related to this topic. Just enjoy any of them. You'll definitely have a good time. Take care.